How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today I'm really excited because we're going to be taking a look at all the movies and TV shows I got on physical media for April of 2025. We have 16 things in here, so a pretty decent haul, and out of those 16, most of them are DVD. I did get one Blu-ray, and let me just say, oh, what a Blu-ray it is. It is something that's out of print and I have wanted for a while, and I was super glad to pick it up. We're gonna start off this haul with two really special items that I was so glad to see in the store and I snatched up really quickly. But then after that, some really cool and interesting movies that fill in some holes in my collection. And if you guys stayed towards close to the end of this video, I do have a weird edition of T2 I picked up. Have any of you ever seen the steel slipcover version of T2? Yeah, that's really weird, and we'll get to that in a bit. But anyway, without further ado, let's switch to the close-up camera and take a closer look at these movies. Alright, here we are inside the castle, taking a closer look at all the movies and TV shows I got during April of 2025. And right off the bat, I got two very special items. Let me start off with the only Blu-ray I got this time around, Cruel Jaws. If you guys know this channel, I do shark movies during the summer, and Sharks of Summer is right about to start up, and it was really great to pick this thing up. You'll probably see a review of it in a couple weeks, but I paid $35 for this. It goes for like $65 on Amazon, and it's out of print, so it's only gonna crawl up higher and higher unless somehow they get another one of these out. But why is it out of print? Let me explain. This was made by Italian filmmaker Bruno Mattei, who would make a bunch of unofficial sequels, like he made a Terminator 2 before there was a real Terminator 2, and this was originally advertised as Jaws 5. Yeah, that's great, an unofficial Jaws 5. But why it's out of print is there's a lot of copyright infringement in this movie. He took footage from Deep Blood and The Last Shark, and I think he also took footage from the Universal Jaws movies as well. But yeah, Severin was told they had to stop, the Blu-ray went out of print, and this is kinda hard to find. Glad I got it, not terribly expensive. And there's the disc, same as the front. Can't wait to watch this, I'm hoping it's crazy. After that, the second super cool thing, and that is Tales from the Crypt Season 1, signed by John Cassier, the voice of the Crypt Keeper. This was really cool. My local used media store got in a huge Tales from the Crypt collection, and I love signed physical media. I love the idea of someone from the movie, like, interacting with the movie, you know? It somehow makes it feel a little more real, and this super cool, like, neon green signature there, I really love this. I was so glad to pick this up. I am a little worried whenever they sign a slipcase or a box that there's no protective layer. You know, like most DVDs have a clear plastic protecting the cover image. But luckily my used media store put it in a little plastic baggie. I took it out once to examine it, and it was really hard to get back in. So I guess I'll just show you guys my other copy of Season 1 if you guys want to see what it looks like on the inside. This slides out. There's the cover again. Only 6 episodes in Season 1, and there are the 2 discs. Alright, let's set this copy aside, and let's move on to another TV show while we're at it. This is Wednesday Season 1. I really like the Addams Family, and I have most of them on physical media. I think I'm just missing the second digital cartoon. Glad to finally pick this up. I was kind of holding out that they would have it on Blu-ray, but all my stores had it on DVD, but I found this in a used media shop for really cheap, and I thought, hey, I've been holding out on this for a while. Good to finally pick it up and get it, because I did think the show was pretty fun. You get Tim Burton as the show's creator, and you get Jenna Ortega playing a little more grown-up version of Wednesday, and she gets sent off to a boarding school where there's a bunch of other fun characters. And we get this spiderweb window, and we have 3 discs. Now, unfortunately, the episodes are listed behind the disc. I don't know why we didn't just put the episodes right there where we could see them without moving a disc, but whatever. Netflix doesn't always put their stuff on physical media, so I really am glad we got something. Again though, strange we didn't get a Blu-ray. After that, a movie I was really glad to find in my used media shops. I was literally about to order this on the internet and they just happened to get it in, and that is Mansion of the Living Dead, a film by Jess Franco, and actually another Severin release. Flip it to the back and it talks about how they're these girls and they're waitresses and they decide to go on vacation when they're confronted by some undead evil monks. If we look on the bottom, it mentions that this was clearly inspired by the Blind Dead series, but what the back of the box doesn't say is that in a lot of markets this was advertised as Blind Dead 5. And right now on this channel, I am covering all the Blind Dead movies, so I did want to pick this thing up so I could cover it after I did the original quartet. And this one sounds pretty over the top and crazy, but not very much like the original films, but hey, I'm more than willing to check it out. And there's the disc, same as the front. After that, something else I was really excited to pick up, and that is Elvira's Haunted Hills. This is the second Elvira movie. I have the first one, and then I have all of the Scream Factory double features, as well as that 6-pack of the public domain movies. So I have a little bit of Elvira, but I was really missing that second movie since I had the first one. In this movie, Elvira goes into this crazy castle, and she just so happens to look like the dead wife of the guy who runs the castle. I saw this a bit ago. It was cheesy fun. It wasn't great, but it was fun enough. Crack it open, and we get an ad. I think some of these might have been in that 6-pack I got. I don't know. I'll have to check after the video. Let's move on to another cool one I got, Roger Corman's cult classics, Star Crash. This was after Star Wars, and we get, you know, a bunch of fun, cool heroes running around trying to save the galaxy, and of course that very iconic outfit there. Again, this one I saw it quite a while ago, and I remember it being some pretty goofy fun. I also collect the Roger Corman's cult classic line, so I was glad to add another one to that. We get an insert with the main girl from the film, and it's actually a 2-disc set with reversible cover art. That's pretty cool. Moving on, recently on this channel, I reviewed the Hatchet franchise, directed by Adam Green, and I found another Adam Green film. This is Spiral, and it's actually got Joel David Moore, who is the guy from the first Hatchet movie, and he's in this as the lead actor, but he's also a co-writer and co-director in this movie, so cool to see that. Apparently, it's about this guy who's an artist, but he's also doing telemarketing, and it sounds like he goes crazy and he gets caught up in some sort of thriller. They say it's kind of like a Hitchcock film, and you can see that like 60s swirl there. Kind of Vertigo-esque, I guess. Crack it open, there's the disc, and there's this much more artsy poster. Moving on, I also picked up The Dead 2. I covered the first The Dead movie a while back, a really good, slow zombies movie. The first one was in Africa, the sequel's in India. Not gonna lie, I was a little disappointed that it wasn't gonna follow the characters set up in the first one, but we'll have to see how these new characters do. Apparently it's about this guy, he's in India, and his pregnant wife is 300 miles away when the zombie apocalypse starts. So he has to fight his way back to her. Sounds like a little bit like the first movie, but a different set of characters in a slightly different circumstance. But still a road trip movie, and I can't wait to see how well this one plays out. And inside we got a shiny disc. Moving on, here's one with a crazy headline. They're Watching, from the writers of Call of Duty Black Ops 2 and SpongeBob SquarePants. Okay, I did not think those two things would go together. But we get this cool, like, house eyeball thing with a bunch of people around it. And it talks about how there's this House Hunters-like show, and there's a legend of a local witch that I'm guessing is haunting the house. I think this is a found footage movie. I hope it is. I like found footage movies. But either way, it looked like a cool concept. Crack it open and we get a shiny disc. Too bad on the shiny disc for this one though. Wouldn't that have made a much cooler disc? Whatever. After that, we get a movie from the Pang brothers, who at the bottom of the box reminds us did The Eye and Bangkok Dangerous. And this actually has a really cool, like, shiny foil cover. And boy, that is the two hands coming out of the skulls. That's a interesting image. The back is a little vague, but it talks about how there's this forest that causes people to die, and a team of people are gonna go in and investigate it. I think the Pang brothers also did that movie, The Messengers. I watched that one a little bit ago, and that one was pretty cool. And there's the disc, same as the front. After that, let's move on to a slasher movie. This one's called Death Escort Services, and it almost seems like a Giallo-style movie, but about a slasher killing escorts in Las Vegas. This looks like a classic case of, like, cheap underground filmmaking really swinging for it. I think I've seen something else from Gator Blade, I'm not sure, but one of the other companies is the Sleaze Box, so I'm guessing that this movie is kind of extreme, probably. I did do a little research, and I found out they actually made 3 of these, though. Crack it open, and we get a portrait of one of the kills from the movie. After that, I did pick up Box of Bigfoot. This is a 3-pack of Bigfoot movies. I saw these on Amazon for like $10, but in stores, I was able to find it on clearance for only $2. Hillbillies vs. Sasquatch. 3 movies for one low price. Flip it to the back, and it seems like we have The Barbaric Beast of Boggy Creek, The Capture of Bigfoot, and The Legend of Bigfoot. This one says it's a documentary. I'll have to see about that. But also really cool to get a Boggy Creek movie in there. Sadly, the movies are all crammed onto one disc, but hey, cool to get 3 Bigfoot movies. And I think there is another volume of this. This might actually be volume 2. But if you guys are keeping up with the haul lately, yeah, I have been picking up quite a few Bigfoot movies. There is something special with Bigfoot coming really soon, and I'm almost ready to tell you guys about it. But needless to say, I'm keeping my eye out. After that, a triple movie collection I was really glad to get. This is Toxie's Triple Tear, set number 5 of 7. I already have number 7. You might have been able to see it in the background behind me. So I was super glad to get another one of these. There's 7 in total, so I still need 5 more. This one has The Dark Side of Midnight, Nightmare Weekend, and Nightfall. And they're all 3 in these slim cases. Slide them out. First we have Nightfall, a vampire movie. There's the back. Cracking it open, the disc will be the same as the front, and we will get a preview for number 6. After that, I love this cover, Nightmare Weekend. Look at her screaming in front of the TV as these really cool creatures come out of it. Aw man, I love this cover. Apparently a scientist makes a reality-altering computer and a woman steals it and starts to torment these 3 college girls. Sounds pretty crazy. And there's the disc. The last one is The Dark Side of Midnight, and it's one of those cop looking for a serial killer movies. I'm wondering if it's going to be like a slasher, or maybe there'll be some other twist with the killer. This isn't a horror box set, so I expect it to be at least a little scary. And there's your disc and the ad for box 6. Let's slide all those back in and put it there. Now after that, the last 3 movies I have are technically stuff that I already have in my collection, but they're different editions that I really wanted. So let's show you guys the last 3 movies. First of all, look at this copy of T2 I got. It's in a steel slipcase. Yeah, not a steel book, a slipcase. A steel slipcase. Like, that's a fake rivet? And this is a real one, and it's called the Extreme DVD. But the slipcase is literally crushing it. Wow, that's crazy. There's the back with the special features. Apparently disc 1 has an extended copy, which is always cool. I wonder if that's like the standard now. And disc 2 has the regular. But let's try to get this out. I've had some trouble with it before, and it always feels like it's scratching the plastic on the undercase. And yeah, it does look a little chewed up. I mean, I bought it this way, but yeah, I don't think a steel slipcase is a good idea. Feels cool, feels heavy, too hard to get out. But underneath is Arnold. And we have the paper and the disc. Disc 1 has human Arnold, and disc 2 has robot Arnold. Alright, let's mash this back in there. And yeah, sliding back in, it really does feel like it's cutting something. I think I'm just gonna leave this in the case most of the time. After that, I have a new copy of Halloween, but this isn't just another copy of Halloween, this is the TV version. Yeah, Halloween was a really huge movie, and naturally they wanted to play it on TV, but they couldn't show everything on TV, so they had to cut some parts out, but then they needed it to fit into a 2-hour time block, so they shot 12 extra minutes for this edition. That's really cool, and I think some of those new minutes actually hint at Halloween 2, which is really fun. I think I'm probably gonna watch Halloween 1 and 2 as a double feature this Halloween, and I'll probably do the TV version for that reason. There's the back where it talks a bit about this version of the film, and there's the disc and the chapters. On the other side of the chapters is the Halloween poster. Good thick cardstock too. And lastly, I did pick up a copy of Saw 2. I have the first 5 Saw movies in a multi-pack, but when you have a multi-pack, you kind of miss out on the individual art, and the Saw movies always had these lurid covers, and some of them would even have like clear disc with like a multi-layer display, so I'm thinking about getting the Saw movies individually just for the sake of the cool art. But yeah, this is Saw 2. Hold up 2 fingers. Boy, those fingers look really gnarly. Flip it to the back, we can see a little bit more details. I thought Saw 2 was really fun. It was like a big house with a bunch of saw traps in it, and plus Amanda returning was really great. And there's the disc with the puppet inside of a saw blade, and no name on it, so if you get this mixed up, you just kind of have to guess or put it in the player to figure out what Saw movie this is. But anyway, there we are. I believe that is 16 things. A pretty good haul this time around. Again, I love getting Cruel Jaws, and I love getting a John Cassier autograph. But I mean, like, all the stuff is really cool, so glad to pick this up. Some interesting things this time around, and definitely a fun haul. Anyway, though, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. This should be my monthly movie hauls. If you guys want to see me talk about other movies I picked up, I've done this for over 2 years now, so there's quite a few of these. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Playlist here. Have a good day now.